What is going on, everybody? The pilot here with a deck profile for you guys. This is going to be Meta Cooler. I know you didn't expect it, but this card is so spicy with the new expansion coming out. So let's take a look at this guy. So Meta Cooler is great because it gives us a way to mill cards out whenever he awakens, which is very beneficial for the black cards. And so on his unawakened side, he's going to throw out the big Getty Star, which is going to be this card here. This allows us to fuel our Meta Cooler engine. What's also great about this card is that it mills one for us. So this also feeds into our black cards, which is very delicious. So basically you pay one energy, you mill the top card, and then you fetch a Meta Cooler, which would be these guys, from your discard, and then play it onto the field. So that's extremely good, very aggressive. It's just an overall great combo piece. So we're playing 14 of these. It's just 14 from the games I've played with it. It seems like a decent number. You don't see too many, but you also have enough to kind of fuel what you're doing. For the aggressive part of the deck, we're going to be running 4 of these. It's a 1-drop combo, play it. Super aggressive card. You just can't go wrong with it. We're also doing 2 of the Mecha Frieza. We have barely any removal in this deck, and so most likely your opponent is going to be swinging with their battle cards at your Meta Coolers, and because of that they're going to be in rest mode. So on turn 4, this is a very solid play to get rid of those. It's also one of our Bloodlust baits, so if you can, play this out just for them to waste Bloodlust. The reason you want to waste that Bloodlust is because you want to see this card hit the field and not get Bloodlusted. By the time this hits the field, it's going to be turn 4 or 5, which is perfect because Vegeta and Mecha Frieza, 2 of the top decks, are going to be awakened by that time with 4 or less life. And so that means you will be able to keep up with that tempo, and on turn 4 you'll be awakened as well, but most likely you're going to have 5 or 6 life. We run the 10k pump, which is self-explanatory. This card is probably the best card in this deck. Because we run Big Getty Star, it's able to attack. It's a 2-drop with 20,000, which is already crazy. But then to add on to that, it has blocker, and so you're able to block tons of your opponent's attacks starting at the beginning of the game, which is just bananas. For more defense, we run this little guy. He's a free blocker just because we do run Big Getty Star, so he comes out free, and it's just a easy negate if our opponent has big threats on the board, or if they're playing Vegeta and we see them take that life for the critical, go ahead and just block it and your opponent just lost a life. So 1 card for life, not bad. For more defense against aggro decks, sometimes they can be quicker than us. We're going to run the Crusher Ball. This eliminates those bigger threats like Miraculous Gohan or the Buhan engine. It also gets over the androids and is a nice little setup play whenever we do Mecha Frieza. This card, it's pretty good. I mean, it is 4 costs, yes, but a big counter to this deck are things like Senzu Bean, and so this allows us, if they stall out the turn with Senzu Bean, this can stall out the turn for us on the next play. So it gives us just a little bit more time to set up. And then for the spice of the deck, we have these 2 black cards here. So we're running 4 Mass Saiyan. This is just an amazing card. Because we're always dumping stuff into the grave, we're able to play these black cards with not really any issues. And the combo, now that we're here at the black cards, the combo with this is you're dumping cards with Big Getty Star. Whenever you become awakened, he's able to dump up to 3 cards, and then whenever he attacks, he can grab a Meta Cooler from your discard pile. So with the combination of Big Getty Star and Meta Cooler, you're able to take 2 of your Meta Coolers out of the discard pile, and then once you do that, you'll have enough cards still in there, and it's okay if you banish some of them because we run 14, but you have enough cards in there to where you can warp all of it to Overrealm, and then get these giant threats. Well, Trunks isn't really a threat, but to get him out for the utility and then him out for the pressure, and it's just a really solid play. So you get a Meta Cooler to your hand, you get a Meta Cooler onto the board, and then you get the Mass Saiyan out, and you've only spent 2 energy for these two, and you have a 20,000 double striker and 15k. So really solid. Same thing with patrol. He's basically just allowing you to set up your next turn, which is always great, especially in a deck where you're running 14 copies of the same card. Maybe you don't want to see him, maybe you do. So that just gives you more opportunities for that. I'd say overall the deck, it'd be a really good player on Octagon. He was running Cell, and at the end of it he even congratulated me on how spicy the deck is, which is always nice to hear. I think it can hang with the big dogs. It's so aggressive and it pressures every single turn, and things like Mega Frieza and Vegeta really don't want to have that pressure on them. And then it has enough defense to where even the best aggro decks kind of get a little bit slowed down, and the ability to self-awaken at 5 life or higher is just really great with this card. And so we play a very, very aggressive main deck. If it does end up being a little difficult for you and the game runs a little longer than it should, we do side in the Infinite Force Metacooler package, and so we're going to be adding in 2 more Getty Star, 4 of Metacooler Core, and then 3 of the big guy. So with these cards, I think some of the biggest threats to this deck are Senzu Bean, Android 16 blocker, the Frieza blocker for sure is a huge threat to this deck, and ironically, Mass Saiyan is a huge threat because whenever he KOs the cards, they go to the warp instead of the drop area. So it's really bad for the Metacoolers. So that's another really big threat that we can't really do anything about at this point. But to battle the Senzu Bean and Frieza game, we play this little small package here. And so this allows us to get some giant threats on the board that can run over them. And just kind of help us get past the stall of the late game, because we can't really do anything at that point. So we do play those, and then for Android 16 and other little tiny blockers that want to kill us, we can throw in the Gotens to get over them. This card, interesting tech, it's really, again, just to get over those blockers. So you pay 2, and then you can tap Android 16, you can tap their Frieza blocker, and then any other threats. You can also swing for game if they've been lining up their board with a bunch of little 1-drops. You can play this and then go in for those bigger swings with all of your Metacooler pressure. So yeah, it's a really solid deck, and I've had some success with it. I'm hoping if you guys have any comments about how you would run it. I know it looks really strange on paper, but definitely give it a test run. And I think that with just a little bit of practice on how to play out your Overrealm cards, you'll definitely start seeing some success in your games. And so yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll hit y'all with a new deck profile as soon as I can. Y'all take care.